Hollywood is no stranger to whispers, secrets, and sudden twists, but even by its own unpredictable standards, the latest development involving beloved actress Blake Lively has sent shockwaves through the entertainment world. The glamorous star, known for her iconic roles and carefully cultivated public image, is suddenly at the center of a mystery that has the entire industry on edge. It all began when one of her co-stars vanished from the public eye without warning, missing key appearances, interviews, and promotional events for their highly anticipated film. The absence was subtle at first, a no-show here, a missed interview there, but soon it became impossible to ignore. Fans noticed it, journalists noticed it, and soon everyone from gossip bloggers to respected entertainment outlets was asking the same question. Where is the missing co-star, and why has no one given a clear answer? While no official statement links Blake to the disappearance, the timing of events and the lack of public clarity have created a swirl of speculation and intrigue. Each new sighting of Blake, each social media post or public outing is now analyzed for hidden clues, and every silence is treated as a potential statement in itself. Insiders hint at tension on set during the final weeks of filming, suggesting that something may have been brewing long before the disappearance became public news. Yet the truth remains elusive, and in Hollywood, perception can become reality in an instant. What makes this story even more compelling is how it reveals the fragile balance between personal privacy and the demands of public life. One moment an actor is celebrated on the red carpet, the next, they are caught in a web of unanswered questions. As the world watches and wonders, this story is only just beginning. Hollywood has always been a place where stories take unexpected turns. But the latest chain of events surrounding actress Blake Lively has left both fans and industry insiders in a state of disbelief. The glamorous star, known for her impeccable red carpet style and memorable performances, is suddenly linked to a mystery that has captured headlines across the entertainment world. It began when reports surfaced about one of her co-stars abruptly vanishing without explanation, leaving audiences and colleagues alike puzzled and concerned in an industry built on appearances and public image. A sudden absence can trigger countless questions, and in this case, it has sparked an intense wave of speculation online and offline alike. The situation escalated quickly as whispers began to spread, suggesting that recent events surrounding the disappearance might connect back to Blake herself, though there has been no official accusation. The timing of certain incidents and the visible gaps in public appearances have led many to wonder what is truly happening behind the scenes. This is not just about one missing actor. It is about the collision of celebrity narratives, media pressure, and the unrelenting gaze of the public. The mystery deepened when fans noticed the co-star missing from a series of key promotional events for a highly anticipated film project, while other cast members attended premieres, interviews, and fan meet and greets. The absent actor remained unseen and unheard from Blake. Meanwhile, continued to fulfill her scheduled appearances, always smiling for the cameras and answering questions with polished charm, but notably sidestepping any mention of her missing collaborator. This contrast between her poised public presence and the growing absence of her co-star did not go unnoticed. Online discussions exploded with theories, timelines, and alleged sightings, while entertainment blogs began creating detailed charts comparing the schedules of both actors. These speculative comparisons highlighted that the last time the pair were seen together in public was at a press junket, that according to off-the-record crew comments ended in an unexpectedly abrupt manner. Subtle signs of tension were reportedly visible, though nothing was officially confirmed. Such unverified details only fanned the flames, giving the public a reason to keep digging, and the story shows no signs of slowing down as the days went by without any word from the missing co-star. The tension in Hollywood began to grow. Media outlets from gossip blogs to mainstream entertainment networks scrambled to piece together any possible clue, while fans flooded social media with questions. Hashtags began trending as theories multiplied, some suggesting that the disappearance might be related to personal matters, others hinting at behind the scenes conflicts on set. Blake Lively remained calm in public, maintaining her trademark elegance and professionalism. Yet her every move was now being analyzed under a microscope. Each interview, outfit choice, and social media post was scrutinized for hidden meaning. The pressure was not only on Blake, but also on the entire production team of the film in question, as investors, promoters, and studio executives grew uneasy about the negative attention swirling around their project. Insiders claim that several scheduled interviews were quietly canceled and at least one major promotional event was postponed, although no official reason was given. These moves only added to the sense that something significant was happening behind closed doors. Crew members who worked on the film have shared vague accounts of the atmosphere during the final weeks of production, describing moments of unusual quiet between takes or sudden changes in filming schedules. None of these accounts provided definitive answers, but in a media landscape hungry for drama, even the smallest hint can fuel a wildfire. The story began to draw the attention of other celebrities, some of whom subtly referenced the situation in cryptic posts or interviews without naming names. This ripple effect added another layer to the unfolding narrative, as public curiosity deepened and the entertainment industry itself seemed to be holding its breath. At the same time, journalists began digging into the professional history of both Blake Lively and the missing co-star, examining past interviews, collaborations, and any signs of prior tension between them while nothing concrete emerged. Old clips showing slightly awkward moments or sidelong glances during press events resurfaced online and were reinterpreted through the lens of the current situation. This is the nature of Hollywood, where every archived image or soundbite can be reframed into a new story when viewed under the light of a fresh controversy. The studio at the center of the storm has remained largely silent, issuing only a brief statement assuring fans that the project is moving forward and that they hope for the co-star's swift return to promotional duties. Yet the absence of specific details has done little to calm speculation. In fact, it has had the opposite effect. With each passing day, the lack of clarity makes the disappearance feel more unusual and the connection to Blake more intriguing. Whether or not that connection is real is almost beside the point at this stage, because in the court of public, opinion perception shapes reality, and once that perception takes hold, it can be almost impossible to reverse. The momentum of the mystery only intensified when paparazzi photos surfaced, showing Blake Lively leaving a private meeting in a discreet Los Angeles location. The images captured her in casual attire with a noticeably serious expression on her face, and while such moments could be entirely unrelated to the disappearance, the timing was enough to ignite another wave of online speculation. Fans and commentators poured over the images, debating whether her body language suggested stress, urgency, or simply fatigue from a demanding work schedule. At the same time, eagle-eyed followers noticed that Blake had been less active on her personal social media accounts in recent days, breaking from her usual pattern of lighthearted posts and behind the scenes glimpses. This reduction in public updates only added fuel to the fire, as the internet thrives on both what is shared and what is withheld. Meanwhile, the search for the missing co-star expanded beyond industry circles, with dedicated fan groups launching their own amateur investigations. These groups sifted through past public appearances, interviews, and social media activity, looking for any sign or clue about the actor's current whereabouts. Some even claimed to have spotted possible sightings in other cities, though none of these reports were confirmed. Still, the rumors spread rapidly, gaining traction in online forums and entertainment news segments. The co-star's sudden absence also raised questions about contractual obligations, with some insiders noting that promotional appearances are typically outlined in detail in agreements signed well before a film's release. If one actor is unable or unwilling to participate, this can have significant financial and reputational consequences for both the individual and the production. As speculation grew, pressure mounted on the studio's public relations team to address the matter more directly. But each day passed with only the same carefully worded statements offering no new information. This silence was interpreted in multiple ways by the public. Some saw it as a strategy to avoid making the situation worse. Others viewed it as an indication that the truth might be more complicated than anyone was willing to admit. Adding to the intrigue, an entertainment magazine published an in-depth feature exploring Blake Lively's career trajectory from her breakout roles to her current status as a Hollywood mainstay. The article subtly questioned whether her success had come with unseen costs, particularly in terms of her relationships with colleagues. While the piece stopped short of making any direct claims, its framing encouraged readers to consider the possibility of tension behind her polished public image. Such media portrayals are powerful in shaping narratives, and in this case they contributed to a growing sense that there might be more to the story than anyone was saying. As the speculation continued to swirl, a new twist emerged when an anonymous source claiming to be connected to the production stepped forward with vague but suggestive statements. This individual described a tense atmosphere during the final weeks of filming, noting that certain cast interactions had become strained and that scheduling conflicts had disrupted the usual promotional planning while the source offered no concrete evidence. These comments were enough to send the story into yet another round of viral coverage. Entertainment reporters dissected every word, and social media users turned the statements into countless theories ranging from mundane misunderstandings to more dramatic possibilities. Blake Lively, for her part, maintained her public composure, appearing at a charity event where she greeted attendees and posed for photos without acknowledging the growing storm around her. Yet even this event was drawn into the narrative as online commentators analyzed her demeanor, outfit choice, and even the way she interacted with other guests for signs of hidden tension. The missing co-star remained entirely absent from the public eye. No sightings, no statements, no digital activity. This void became a story in itself, with fans and journalists debating whether such complete silence was even possible in the age of constant connectivity. Some suggested it might be intentional, a deliberate effort to create distance from the media frenzy. Others worried it could indicate deeper issues, either personal or professional. The studio remained steadfast in its minimal response strategy, releasing a second brief statement that mirrored the first and emphasized ongoing support for both actors without offering specifics to those following the saga closely. This felt like a calculated effort to buy time, perhaps until the film's release date passed or until the situation could be resolved behind closed doors. Meanwhile, industry analysts began weighing in on the potential impact of the controversy, noting that while scandals can sometimes boost public interest in a project, they can also alienate key audiences and complicate relationships with investors, advertisers, and distribution partners. It was during this period that several entertainment lawyers appeared on talk shows to explain the contractual and legal implications of a prolonged absence by a principal cast member. Their insights added yet another layer of intrigue, highlighting how delicate the balance is between protecting personal privacy and fulfilling professional obligations. With each passing day, the mystery grew more tangled and the public more invested, and whether the truth would ultimately be revealed or fade into Hollywood folklore remained uncertain. The turning point came when a set of Grainy behind the scenes photos leaked online showing Blake Lively and the missing co-star during the final days of production. The images were taken from a distance and appeared to capture an intense conversation between the two actors, though the lack of audio and clarity left their exact exchange open to interpretation. Some viewers claimed to see frustration in their body language, while others argued it was simply a heated creative discussion that had been misrepresented. Nonetheless, the photos reignited every theory that had begun to fade with time. The internet once again became a storm of speculation, as old rumors were revived and new ones invented. In response to the leak, news outlets reached out to both actors' representatives for comment, but neither side provided a direct answer. Instead, both released nearly identical statements reiterating mutual respect and appreciation for each other's work without addressing the disappearance or the leaked images directly. This coordinated response did little to satisfy public curiosity. In fact, it had the opposite effect by making the statements feel rehearsed and strategic, rather than spontaneous or transparent. Around the same time, a close friend of the missing co-star broke their silence in a carefully worded interview, stating only that their friend was taking time away from the spotlight for personal reasons and that any further details would be shared when appropriate. While the remark was meant to end the conversation, it instead opened new lines of debate, with audiences dissecting what personal reasons might mean and whether they had any connection to Blake Lively herself. Industry insiders, meanwhile, began to whisper that the film's post-production phase had faced unexpected delays, though no one could confirm whether these were technical in nature or a result of the ongoing absence of one of its stars. As weeks passed without further developments, the fever pitch of speculation began to slow, replaced by a quieter but still persistent curiosity. The unanswered questions remained lodged in the minds of fans and Hollywood observers alike. And while the glare of the spotlight began to shift toward other stories, the mystery of the co-star's disappearance and Blake's proximity to it continued to linger in the background like an unfinished chapter in an otherwise polished career. As the days turn into weeks, the mystery surrounding the missing co-star remains unsolved and the questions continue to mount. Blake Lively has maintained her composure throughout the storm, appearing in public with the same poise and grace that has defined much of her career, yet behind the glamorous images and polite smiles, there lingers an unspoken tension that even the most skilled public relations strategies cannot completely erase. The silence from the missing co-star has become deafening, leaving fans to wonder if their return will ever come, or if this will become one of those Hollywood stories that fades without resolution. The industry itself seems divided. Some choosing to believe this is a matter of personal privacy. Others convinced that deeper currents of conflict and competition are at play. The studio's continued reluctance to provide details only fuels the intrigue, keeping the public engaged and the media cycle spinning. For now, the story remains a fascinating blend of fact speculation and unanswered questions. The connection between Blake Lively and the disappearance may never be proven, but it has already altered the narrative surrounding her image, reminding everyone that in Hollywood, a career can be shaped as much by the stories told around you as by the work you put on screen. Whether this chapter ends with a clear explanation or becomes a permanent part of Hollywood lore. One thing is certain, the events of these past weeks have captivated audiences around the world and left an indelible mark on the careers and reputations of everyone involved. And as the cameras keep flashing and the whispers continue, the mystery will remain a reminder of how quickly the spotlight can shift from celebration to scrutiny in the unpredictable world of fame.